We will build a great wall along the southern border.
I say, absolutely we're going to build a wall, 100%. They go, well, you don't really mean that. That was like when I first started in June. I said right from the beginning, we're going to build a wall. It's going to be a real wall. Okay, you ready? Who's going to pay for the wall? Who? I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice. Build that wall. 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 Build that. We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly. Really strong. Number one, I'm building a wall. They're not coming in anymore. Number two, immediately we're building a wall. We are going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration.
So President Trump began his campaign in 2015 where he proposed the idea of building a great wall at our southern border states. Trump's wall became a hot topic and caused much controversy during his campaign. He feels that there should be more security between the United States and Mexico to protect the states from illegal immigrants coming into our country for various reasons. This wall would stretch across 1,900 miles, 4 states, including Texas, New Mexico, California, and Arizona. In this video, we will get peers' opinions on Trump's wall and discuss the pros and cons of it actually being built.
I do believe that they should do something to protect the borders of the United States.
Definitely against. I think the idea that a wall can keep out people is, it's a childlike solution, to be honest. Even if the wall was going to be effective, right? Like, let's say hypothetically it would work. The zoning process you'd have to go, like the EPA would have to discuss the list of endangered animals that the wall would go through, who would build the wall, what it would be made of, how much would it cost. Like, it would roughly cost $27 billion to maintain it every 10 years, and that's the initial front-up cost. So, we're talking billions and millions of dollars to put into a wall that won't actually affect anything in the long run besides sending a message of negativity. Like, I get the sentiment, which is all about maintaining your independence as a nation, but just because you have that, a wall isn't the main message.
I don't think it would happen, but if it did, I feel like it would really damage our personal relations with Mexico.
I think the wall is pretty pointless, honestly. It's not going to stop much. People are still going to find ways to get into this country, whether it's underground or above the wall. They're going to figure it out. It's a great idea. Mexico's not going to pay for it. It's not going to work. I do not think that it would stop illegal immigrants or drugs from coming into the U.S. because there's other ways of transportation, like boats or tunnels where they could still smuggle things up here.
I think yes, because they have been doing it since America was made. So even though it may make it harder, people still find a way to do whatever they want. So it may decrease the amount of immigrants, but then it would also people would find a way to bend the laws. So
Illegal immigrants probably make up I would say roughly 5 million or so in the United States. They do work and stuff like that, so they do end up being a large part of the economy. However, I don't believe that's really necessarily right, because in most cases they're not paying taxes and stuff like that. I feel like there is a legal way of becoming a resident of the United States, and that should be the way of doing it. It's definitely a giant issue that needs to be taken care of, and I don't necessarily think the wall is the exact answer, although it does take a step in the right direction.
There's about 10 to 15 million illegal immigrants in the U.S. today.
As you can see by some of our peers' comments, some have very strong opinions on the situation, others are not as engaged on the topic. Whether someone does or doesn't have a strong opinion, the fact of the matter is that the wall would have serious pros and cons on our country if it is built or not built. Each side has strong points and arguments, nothing is ever black or white, and that is the case here. President Trump's main reason for the wall is to stop illegal immigrants coming from Mexico. There are approximately 12.5 million illegal immigrants here today, according to studies by the Federation for Migrant Reform. Immigrants coming to America are not just traveling here on foot over the border, they have been caught coming on planes, trains, and boats. Many illegal immigrants who are here today didn't even come here illegally. They have overstayed their visas and are now living in the shadows. So the question, would the wall actually stop illegal migration, is up in the air, and there really would be no definite answer until the wall is actually up.
I can't put like an exact price range on it, but it probably costs many millions of dollars, and I think it would be many millions of dollars wasted to build a wall.
We do share the border, and they're the ones that are trying to get into our country, that maybe he can propose the idea of them paying half.
I think it would cost a lot of money. I'm not sure on a certain figure, but I know it would be a lot of taxpayer money. And I don't think it will really happen because I don't believe Mexico would even think of trying to pay for a wall that prohibits their citizens from entering another country.
Trump claims that the total cost of the wall is between $10 to $12 billion. This number seemed awfully low, which explains why the Washington Post estimated the total cost to be more like $25 billion. Different companies were selected to make prototypes for the wall in San Diego. Each of the prototypes were 30 feet tall and 30 feet wide. This goes to show Trump is taking steps towards building the wall, but he says he does not want to go through with the project until the entire wall in all areas of the border will be approved. Trump has also stated that his favorite type of wall is the concrete prototype because it is hard to climb, but he also likes the see-through prototype so Border Patrol can easily monitor the borders.
More harm than good, because I think it would cost a lot of money to build this wall, and it would be pointless because people would look at us and be like, you guys are stupid for building a wall, and for just to keep people out. It's not even for that much protection, it's just for other people to get into the country, so I think it would be more harmful.
Trump's wall could pose threats to the environment on the Mexican-U.S. border. Environmentalists say it will continue to cut the flow of water and wildlife in a changing climate. The production of cement, the material that holds together concrete, is a major source of greenhouse gas emissions. Wildlife migration will also be another environmental problem, as environmental groups say that migration corridors are crucial for the recovery and survival of wildlife along the borders. They've already spotted wolves, ocelots, and even jaguars along the border walls, blocking their natural movements.
No, I'm not. Considering I'm going to get a college degree, so I don't think my job would be in jeopardy of people who are illegally immigrating and taking that type of job. Also, I mean, if I was not to get a college degree, to say I'm going to have a high school diploma, I don't think I'd be too concerned about it either, because you have the high school diploma, they don't pay any taxes or anything. But I guess the one thing they do have on people in America is they can be paid under the table for less, which employers like that, so they don't have to pay as much, they can just take more money for themselves.
Right now, probably not. No, maybe if they continue to keep coming into the United States, I feel like it may be an issue, maybe later on. But I mean, I don't feel that it's right that they are coming here illegally. I feel like they should have the proper documentation to be in this country legally and legally work here and pay taxes and continue living the American dream. But
some other pros of the wall are stimulation of the economy. This would keep jobs in the hands of the United States citizens, whereas no wall will lead to illegal immigration filling those jobs. The actual building of the wall would create 21,000 to 25,000 jobs for the period of construction. This number is based off the $12 to $15 billion budget mentioned by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. As some of our peers have mentioned, the jobs that illegal immigrants do fill are low-paying jobs. There are about 8 million illegal immigrant workers in the United States. That is 70% of all illegal immigrants. If there were no more immigrants filling those jobs, Americans would fill them and demand more money. This is why employers do look for migrant workers.
Our opinion on the wall is that it should not be built. We believe that it is way too expensive to construct and maintain over the years, not to mention all the environmental damage that it will cause, but also that people will find ways around it and get into this country anyway.
There are too many outlying negatives in this situation for it to really work, and the only reason they want to build it is to keep people out. Even if they are successful in doing so, there are way more cons than pros in this situation.